Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Okay, and this is Donald Trump on Iran. Here it is.
Said I'd give it a 12 to a 15. Their army is gone. They're just about, look, their Navy is gone. Their communications are gone. Their leaders are gone. 2 sets of their leaders are gone. They're down to their 3rd set. Their Air Force is wiped out entirely. Think of it. They have 32 ships. All 32 are at the bottom of the ocean. Other than that, they're doing very well, Coach. Very well. We're doing, our military is doing phenomenally. That's the big thing for this week. We seem to have a new thing every week, but the situation with a very bad and very sick group of leaders who were killing a lot of people. A lot of our people were.
Yeah.
Yes. And so he puts it clearly. Now, you know, CENTCOM, our communications from the Central Military, is talking about the attacks from Iran are down 90%. Drone attacks are down 83%. 60% of the missile launchers have been destroyed, according to Israel. 80% of their air defense systems have been destroyed. And CENTCOM says 3,000 targets in 1 week have been assaulted by Operation Epic Fury. So this is the facts, the truth. We have a lot of propaganda flying, and Fox put together a little compilation of what the mainstream media is saying. And I hope you have that one, too.
And here it is.
Not even a week into Operation Epic Fury, Iran's leaders are dead, the Navy's underwater, and we control the skies. But if you change the channel, don't. But if you do, you'd think we lost.
The reality is that the Iranians maintain pretty shocking military capability and asymmetric capability.
Once you go to regime change from the air, which cannot be achieved, you're setting up the military not only to fail, but we as a country will have failed.
I think that the war in Iran is not going the way he had hoped and wanted. This is a real mess.
The media has turned into Iranian state TV. If it was up to them, we wouldn't have fired a shot at the Ayatollah until his finger was this close to the big red button. Or worse, until after Trump was dead. The regime's been trying to get him for years.
Boom.
Yep. Well said. And those voices you may not have recognized. One was John Brennan, Obama's CIA chief, and another one was Obama's Manuel.
Yeah, and by the way, Jim Hines was in there. Jim Hines was the guy, Representative Jim Hines, Democrat Jim Hines. Iran maintains shocking military capabilities as their entire Navy is lying at the bottom of the ocean. They have no Air Force. I had another one. I heard somebody else talking about the drones and how they didn't have it in this one and how we'd never be able to defeat their drones. And their drones capability is shrinking to almost by the day. In fact, we reverse engineered their drones and using their own drones against them.
system. Yes, absolutely brilliant. And as the CENTCOM said, the attacks are down 83%. So people can say all they want, but you look at what Iran is doing, and they are down to almost nothing. Their capabilities are obviously degraded significantly. So the media can claim that, we're in trouble and it's not going well, but the facts on the ground belie all of that.
It's just amazing. It is just amazing to see. And anyone else, if this were not Trump, they would be talking about, we've never seen a military do operations like this. Now, we lost American soldiers, and Caroline Leavitt took to task CNN because they kept talking about, and I want to be really careful how I'm saying this. We had estimates between 4 and 6 military deaths in an operation of this scale. Everyone, of course, important. Everyone we mourn. Everyone we pray for their families.
Yes.
When you look at the level of warfare that has happened, to have 6 casualties reported thus far is almost miraculous. When you look at the scale of war that has been inflicted on Iran, the Iran regime. I don't know whether you would agree with that. I hope I said it right.
Yes, you said it right, and it's very important to note that today is the dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base of 6 of America's fallen, and Trump will be there. And this is something, as a country, we mourn those 6 and their families, and we are with them and support them. And Trump is not going to be looking at his watch during the dignified transfer. So this is an important role that Trump is comforting the families. And so I think today is a somber day for our nation.
Please explain the looking at his watch. There are people, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm sure that there are people that don't understand the context of that comment you just made.
Well, during the Biden administration, there was also a dignified transfer of America's fallen. And as the caskets were being unloaded, the camera was trained on the President of the United States, and he looked at his watch as if to say, how long is this going to take? I'd rather be anywhere else. And the families were affronted. The families were furious. And the words that the Biden spoke were discussed by the families as being completely self-centered and about him. And so that event was stuck in the craw of America's military and families and country, of anyone who saw that. And Trump will not be looking at his watch.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.